Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. Mitch English here. Tax season. The feds have so many new rules. Even celebrities may need an army of accountants to keep up. But if you don't have that type of money, don't worry. I got an army of taxes. I don't need it because the sassy accountant is joining us, Chantel Williams. Welcoming you back. You're going to give us some tips on what we need to do. Do we got to send our blood type this year for our government? Because they want to know everything. What do people need to be on the lookout for? You got some few tips and things that people need to be aware of.
Just have your paperwork in order. The main one is going to be if you have filed did insurance, to have your insurance paperwork. Whether you want to file it on your own or use a professional, if you do not have your actual insurance documentation to prove you paid for insurance, you will get held up.
Okay, don't want that to happen at all. You got some tips also that you're talking about contributing to retirement accounts. All right, you got 401ks, but let's say your company doesn't offer one. What do you do?
You can actually start your own. Get with a financial advisor and it will really, really help. I have a couple clients who actually invest in their own RAs and stocks and investments, and what they end up doing is able to count it as a write-off, and so it helps a whole lot on their tax.
And if you don't know where to start, an accountant is a perfect place. They know that, hey, listen, not everybody gets what this 401k deal is all about. Be able to answer that in IRAs and that sort of thing. All right, organize your records for tax time. That just seems pretty important. But before that, you want to make a last-minute estimated tax payment. Why and what is that?
So you want to do that because if you actually make over 150,000, you're going to get hit big time. So you want to make sure that you know exactly how much you need to pay. You can actually go on irs.gov and run the calculations to see how much you need to pay if you don't have an accountant or a tax professional to assist you doing that. And it will also help you make a decision if you need to put some more in your investments or your investment account before the end of the year.
Okay, that makes and so it's less stressful this time when it happens. Yes. Okay, and we always hear about itemization and keeping receipts. Is it that big of a deal?
Well, if you're self-employed, yes, because you can count a lot on your taxes as a write-off, especially if you're getting a Schedule C done on your tax return. And you want to make sure that you're counting your losses in the right places, because you can actually count everything as a loss, and in doing so, you're broke. So you don't want to be broke on paper, but you still want to be rich, right?
Sure.
So
Yes.
there's a way to be rich broke at the same time, as long as you keep your paperwork and the people you work with know exactly where to put those losses at.
And they will. A good accountant will be able to do just that. You talk about filing and paying on time. Now, that just makes sense, but why is that so important?
Well, it's important because you will get hit with penalties and fees. But here's the thing. If you actually take the time to sit with someone and do tax planning in advance, because you can invest in other places, you can give yourself a bonus, you can give yourself more money in your 401k or your IRA. So you can structure it so you can give yourself more money instead of IRS more money. And then that also save you in your taxes in the end.
Okay. Now, I've also heard, I guess it's a rumor, that you should, wait until like April 15th to file, because then your paperwork's all the way down at the bottom, and you're not going to get audited or less chance of audit. Is that true?
No, not really. The time of the year really doesn't matter. But if you're in the beginning, in that first batch, because so many people are actually filing your taxes and the system is ran through a computer, believe it or not, it'll just kind of process you through. So the earlier, the better, but make sure you take time to actually, get a quote.
Yeah, make sure that you know that, number one, that everything that you have turned in is okay, is fine. If you're missing a form, will they let you know immediately? Or?
They will. So the system will let you know if it's something imperative for you to have when you're filing your taxes. It'll actually won't even let us process it through. Like, again, your insurance documentation. If we don't have that, it will not let it through.
Okay, it's a little safeguard, I guess you could say that. And then finally, filing electronically is very important.
Yeah, filing electronically is really good, because then you can have an actual electronic trail. You can set up an account on irs.gov and you can be able to go inside and check the status of it, see if you owe anything, or if you're getting a return back and you actually owe money, deduct that from what you owe, and it'll be like you're paying them back with some of the money you'll get.
What are some of the biggest mistakes that you see people make when they file?
Not shopping around. Most people just do their taxes on their own, or they use the software that they can do free services on. But here's the thing, it's not really free. It starts off free. And then if you want them to open up more features, you got to pay an extra $29, an extra $50, an extra $80. And at the end of the day, you're paying the same thing you would have paid a professional to do the job for you. So be careful about using free online resources and shop around. Like, take the time. We had someone come to us and they only got a $6,000 $6,000 quote back for what they would have received back. When we were done, they were getting $13,000.
Wow.
Because of the deductions and the itemizations and understanding the laws. They change daily. So you want to work with someone who's actually up on the laws.
You mentioned $150,000 a couple times as a kind of like a requirement. Is that like if you're married or individually?
Married individually, that's kind of that number. So now if
Okay,
your
okay.
income exceeds that, you want to have some kind of other side business. You want to do hair, bake cakes, babysit, do something at the church. You want to bring in another stream of income that you can file on a Schedule C so you can have some losses and walk away with some money.
I'm loving that idea. And then finally, the deduction people forget about that they need to know about.
Oh, their tithes and offerings from church. They forget that
really?
one. Yes, there's your tithes and offering from church, daycare. If you have daycare, aftercare, or children's sports activities, that's a huge one. And then also, if you are a W-2 person and you also have a 1099, don't just toss it off as, oh, it was just a couple $100. Claim that. If you've made more than $600 from any source at all, claim that money because that will offset some of your tax responsibilities.
You know, we think of that too. You want to get the numbers together, how much you have to pay in taxes and how much you've made. Am I right on that?
Yes, of course.
And you say get a second job learning hair. I'm going to set up an appointment. I'm going to do your hair, all right?
All right, you can do it.
Oh, that's sweet of you. Hey, listen, we love having you on. You always lay it out perfectly.
Thank you.
Sassy Accountant. You can check out the ALP firm. You can go and find out more details as well. ALPfirm.com. Get those taxes in on time and correctly so you don't get audited at all. We have more Flash coming up right around the corner. Don't go anywhere. We love you. We're going to learn more about car smarts and exactly just how your car insurance, speaking of car insurance, makes a big deal and you might be paying more.
Wow.